2BX Jed. Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
I'm the captain.
And we have some beautifully sounding and interesting playing Fender guitars here today for you.
Always on the lookout for a concept video, I stumbled across the idea of going Jazzmaster versus Jaguar. Two iconic guitars of the early 60s, which at the time were supposed to be kind of like the flagship, better than a Strat, better than a Telecaster.
Oh, really?
And, well, like they were the sort of deluxe guitars in the Fender line,
right?
And I guess have never really caught on in the mainstream way that a Strat or a Telecaster have, and have enjoyed this sort of like underground love, for really probably ever since those early 60s, but particularly I guess more recently, you know, players who've enjoyed offset guitars.
I mean,
Johnny Marr,
completely unique sounding, aren't they?
They are different. So I mean, if you sort of go through I don't really know which. For me, I kind of think, well, so for a start, what we've done is we've chosen two sort of modern versions of a Jaguar and a Jazzmaster. So we've gone for two guitars from the American Pro line because they're new and you know we hadn't reviewed them before, so they're not designed to be authentic reproductions of the guitars from the early 60s, but they've maintained, I guess, the essence of the Jaguar and the Jazzmaster. So first things first, key differences between the two. The Jaguar was a short scale, or is a short scale, meaning just explain the scale length.
Well, it means the
novices.
scale, the length from here to here varies in length depending on the length you would choose for a guitar. Some lengths are very short, some are very long, some are in the middle, and it gives you a different kind of feel. So the shorter the scale length, the sort of floppier and softer the strings feel, and often then people counteract that with a thicker gauge of strings. So for example, for this kind of guitar, I put 10 to 56 on it and then spank it low and slow like barbecue. Whereas a lot of Strat players with 25 and a half would put 9s, maybe 10s, chip down, because it's quite a high tension.
Yeah, so Jazzmaster is 25 and a half inch scale length, so same as a Strat or a Tele or something like that. That's the shorter one. So again, that if we did nothing but that to the guitar, it would change the sound and the feel.
I love the feel.
You've always liked shorter scale.
Of a shorter scale length, yeah, I do. It does interesting things to the harmonics as well.
It'll shift, presumably, all the harmonics when it's on a shorter scale. So,
and does things, depending where your pickups are placed and everything, it just does interesting things.
You've got single coil pickups on both guitars. Bizarrely and confusingly, the single coil pickups that have come on a Jazzmaster have always come in these sort of bigger,
huge
castings, which
reminds me a lot of when I was a kid buying a computer game, and you would get this massive box off the shelf, and inside it was like one floppy disk, and you plug it in and you play ST Karate or something.
So these aren't humbuckers or anything like that. This is just how the casing that the Jazzmaster's always come in. Very simple switching on the Jazzmaster, just a straightforward three-way, neck, both, bridge, and
slightly more confusing on mine.
Yes.
Let's just play the tonages so that people get to hear the tonages. switch.
Sorry, yes, you do. That's it. I was just literally, because you've got a 4-way switch on there, which is unusual for a guitar with only 2 pickups, and of course you've got the switch there. So the 4-way, and apologies if I'm reading this off.
It's in the dual pickup consensus. It flips them. It does a thing.
I see.
It's very easy to hear. So, if I'm in, for example, position 2, where you get, and I flick it in. I really like that.
So you've also got, so the idea of the 4-way here, so forgetting this bit, the idea of the 4-way here is that positions 1 and 3 are effectively, position 1 is just this pickup, position 3 is this pickup.
Yes.
Then position 2 is the 2 pickups wired one way, and position 4 are the same 2 pickups wired the other way. Yeah. And then I can't remember, this little switch you've got at the top also seems to sort of play with sort of phase reversal or something, so you do get this slightly different sound.
So, well...
It's like a cocked kind of wah sound.
It is like a cocked wah. You could literally find...
So, I don't recall the sort of the rosewood maple fretboard. I'm pretty sure that both guitars have always been available with either. Now, the other, I guess at the time, sort of, what would Leo have been thinking? Sort of, enhancement to the tremolo system, which I'm not entirely sure really was the tremolo system that people would associate with the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar, which is effectively a system that you used to be able to lock. So you've got a tremolo arm attached to the plate here where the strings secure into. So effectively, as I'm doing this to the tremolo arm, you might see this on close-up. This piece of metal here is just bending backwards and forwards, giving the kind of the tremolo effect.
Sorry, it's just that I've got a boy, he's 15 weeks old, and the only time I ever get to sleep is when I come to film videos with Lee now. So I catch up on all my sleep. But then last night we went to see an Alien film with Pete and Beer, which was terrifying. So I lay in bed like that.
Worrying.
Needing to wee, and I couldn't wee.
Because... So anyway, so that's how the mechanism here makes the strings physically, vibrate.
And you can lock it with this little button here, can't you? Push it
that's
forwards.
The idea. Again, I don't know on the American Pro whether they've really kind of fixed that, because certainly on the original ones, you used to lock that, used to fall apart. Then, of course, you had the actual the bridge assembly here, which, according to the spec, these saddles here, which look like they're kind of regular steel saddles, are actually brass, and they're obviously just plated to sort of look like
I'm just going to call Fender out on this and say it's a bad design, because the problem with these blocks is as soon as you give the string any kind of sideways, like if you finger pick quite hard, they pop off the saddles, and it's a real shame. And now not everyone plays that way, but that's the thing. I mean, I've been playing really perfectly fine, strumming and playing lead, and it's all good. But if I was to play this in my regular live fashion, I for sure would have a string pop off a saddle.
Well, if I can just say then, so the saddle designs on American Pro and on a lot of more modern takes on the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar actually are a lot better than the original ones, because the original
I agree with you. It was like a hedgehog.
Yeah, the saddle literally was just like the thread of a screw.
Yeah, and it could move to anywhere.
Whereas at least the grooves in these now are of a reasonable depth. It's probably easier to pop the string out on a thicker string than it is a thin string.
I mean, if you've got higher tension, they stay in better.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're a hard hitter or you finger pick hard, if you're a hedgehog, probably not the right guitar for you.
The other, again, thing they've improved on American Pro, or changed on American Pro, is the bridge. Sorry, the saddles now no longer kind of, there was a bit of give in them to sort of move backwards and forwards slightly. The whole assembly would move backwards and forwards, whereas these are more, these are more rigidly stuck in place now.
Rigid.
But
so they sound great.
But it does
so it has a thing.
It's more Bigsby-like than a regular Strat trem.
Is it still in tune? That's the question. It's absolutely still in tune.
So that's cool.
Pop.
Rob just asked me about what the little lock button was on here.
It's like a door latch, but what does it do?
I mean, I know what it does, but I'll be totally honest and say I'm not entirely sure why you would want that. But so in the off position, you can move the tremolo up or down, like that. If I lock it, go up anymore. I can only go down.
Your wife will be very happy with
But
it.
I'm not entirely sure why that would be. I'm just trying to think. If you broke a string, let me just think. You break a string, the tension decreases,
and therefore it would tend to go up.
It would go up.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a system that would prevent your guitar going out of tune if you broke a string.
Yes.
I'm being tenuous here. We'd have to, Leo Fender, who obviously is no longer with us. I would have liked to have asked him, what were you trying to achieve with this lock thing? But,
yeah. Well, maybe someone from Fender can tell us.
Yeah,
it'd be great if it just locked it entirely, and then you could spank out some down-tuned
like you say,
pain.
to lock it completely, wouldn't it? But there we go. So that's what it does.
Pop.
So we've looked at the tones on the Jaguar. Let's just do the same thing on the Jazzmaster. This will only take 2 seconds because there are only a couple of basic settings. Neck pickup, both pickups together. Bridge. Weird, isn't it? 'Cause it doesn't sound like a Strat.
No.
It's Strat-esque.
Sounds good.
But it's got a different kind of chime vibe. They're both fitted, again, this is an American Pro feature. This it's called something like treble no bleed or no bleed treble or whatever. But the idea is...
you roll it off, it keeps the top
Yeah,
in.
so as you roll the volume down, it doesn't darken the kind of the string, darken the tone, sorry. With gain, I've got a plimsoll pedal on the floor here. Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
We were in that beginning jam. I just got a couple of things out the cupboard. I don't know. I kind of always think of Jazzmasters and Jaguars as being slightly shoegazery kind of guitars. So I've got an amp with tremolo built in, delay. I might even use a bit of the distortion,
Do it.
but sort of. It's different,
swell.
isn't it? It is a different kind of vibe. Let's swap. They come in a whole bunch of different colours, which Rory will put on the screen now.
Pop.
Oh wow, this does feel different straight away.
Yeah, so does this. Much prefer that.
All the frets are closer together.
Yeah, because it's a short scale length.
Of course, they've got to fit.
So easy to play. Play a bit of lead, you'd be amazed.
I don't know, actually. I think I prefer the feel of that one because it's more what I'm used to. We've tried to describe that. I think hoopy was the word.
Yeah, hoopy.
And it's almost where you can hear, after you pick each note, you can hear the string going wow before it. You can physically hear that extended oscillation before it kind of goes back into pitch again. It's only for like a split second. Wow. But it does give the guitar that sort of just a different tone to to when the strings are the scale length is longer. Funny, isn't it? I said to Rob before we started doing this demo that the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar were probably two of the guitar shapes I'd never really hankered after owning.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of, as we go through this demo, going, actually, you know what? There comes a time when just because it's different.
If you play a bit of lead on that, in the in-between stage... Flip the switch, Lee.
This has got a whole gamut of tones in it,
Yeah.
isn't it? Really versatile. Look, I don't. They're always going to be associated with slightly left field players, aren't they?
Yeah.
But hey, why not?
Why not be left field?
Why not be left field? There's
Better than
plenty of
being
right
midfield.
field ones and midfield. Yeah, let's go left field. What is right field? Because you're totally right in the sense of presumably if you're mainstream, you're just midfield, are you? So what if you're left field? And you never hear anybody say you're right field, do you?
I guess right field would be bands like anyone unashamedly mainstream.
Oh, what you mean? You're so far right field that you're like
Like
just. You're just like,
is it called The Calling? I love it when you call that one. I love it when, the feeling. Unashamedly middle of the road.
But then you'd be midfield, surely. Isn't right field something more like right field?
You haven't done the in-between sound. Look, do that and then put it on that.
Jimmy never played a guitar like that, but you gave me a Cocktail sound, so I just thought I'll smash that one out just for fun. So look,
Smash it out.
should we jam out?
All right, mate.
And there you go. So that's been our kind of Jazzmaster versus Jaguar video. If you'd like us to shoot other like iconic style of guitar versus another style of guitar, put it in the comment section below, and you never know.
Versus Explorer.
Yeah, Les Paul versus SG, Strat versus Telly. The list is endless. Actually, the list isn't endless. That probably is the list. We've just done it. So there you are.
What about six-string bass versus guitar?
Possibly banjo versus mandolin.
Banjolin.
Robin to the viewers for my appalling sense of timing and unusual choice of chords during that song.
I thought it was just unique.
Well,
and,
yes.
and beautiful.
So there we are.
I really enjoy that. I wish it had a hardtail.
Well, there are Jaguars and Jazzmasters with hardtails, just not in the American Pro Series. There's a Mexican one, I think, with like 2 humbuckers and a hardtail.
Right.
Totally aimed at someone that just wants like a rock machine with a short scowling.
Right.
I just think I've enjoyed these. I mean, I must admit, the whole American Pro line has got cool features on it. I like the new neck profile. I like all the new electronics in them. They're a cool line. But there we are. So,
there you go.
Jaguar versus Jazzmaster, who won, in your opinion?
I've been Rob Chapman.
And I've been the captain.
See you later.
Au revoir.
Pop.
This is Rory from the UK.
Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.